Hello everybody, my name is Scott Chacon. I'm the CEO of GitButler. I'm here to tell you about a new feature that's coming out in the new release of GitButler, which is called stacked branches. So some of you may have used stacked branches with other tooling before. We have a really nice, simple way of stacking sort of dependent work while, let's say, you're waiting for something to land. You need to work on something that depends on that. And so instead of kind of continuing to work on that branch, you can create a new branch that has a dependency, as opposed to virtual branches, which are independent. So let's go through a really quick, simple workflow and take a look at what that looks like, both having dependent branches and independent branches and virtual branches, and see kind of how we can decide where to put what. Here I have this beautiful website that I just created. It has some of the awesome features of GitButler, and we're gonna add stacked branches as a new feature and then update the copy of that new feature that we added in. We're gonna go into Zed. I'm gonna add this new stacked branches thing. And we can see, okay, we have this new feature for stacked branches here in our list of awesome features. And I want to commit that, I want to push that out, right? This is like I've done a new feature. So we can go in here and we can take a look at sort of what our changes are. We can name the branch kind of whatever we want. Let's do add stack feature. And I can commit this. Okay, so let's say that that's a new feature. I'm going to push it out. I'm going to open a pull request. I'm going to try to get somebody to review it and to merge it in. But while that's happening, let's say I had created a function or something, and now I want to go through and kind of refactor that or keep working on it, assuming that it will be upstreamed. So I create my pull request, and now I decide, you know what? Now I'm going to use that in something else. So let's go through and do something that depends on that feature. So I'll go in here, and again, like, if I assumed that this wasn't integrated, then I wouldn't be able to work with it. But I assume that this is going to be integrated as its own pull request, and I can go in here and make more changes. Okay, so I've made some changes. Again, this is locked. We see this lock icon because it's modifying stuff that we introduced in this previous one, right? So, but I can go ahead and commit it. And if I would normally commit it, what it would do is it would go into this existing branch. But we don't want to do that because that's out for review. We want it to be reviewed and integrated. We want to create something that depends on it. So once that's integrated, we have a new branch that is based off of it. So what I'm going to do is do this new feature that we have, which is this add dependent branch. And I can click on this and I can create a new branch. So I'll name it update stacking copy. I get a new branch that, again, you can see is based off of this, and I can keep doing this. I can do lots of different dependent branches and work with them however I want to here, but let's just do a simple one with just two. So I'm gonna say update stacking copy, and that commit goes into this new branch. And I can create a pull request based off of that as well. I can use AI if I want to. If you haven't used this new sort of pull request thing, you can create your pull request descriptions and bodies in GitButler now. You don't actually have to go over to GitHub for that. But let's go ahead and do that. I can use AI to generate that if you want to. I can push that and create my new pull request. So now I have two pull requests. So now let's say I want to do, I see a bug or there's something else, right? Like as I'm looking at this, I go to the website. It looks like this now. I go to the website and I say, you know what, this background color needs to change. It's sort of an independent feature. It's something else that while I'm waiting for these things to happen, I want to keep working, but I don't necessarily want to switch. I want to see, let's update the background while I'm working in this. So I go in here and I update the background color. I have this nice light pink background color. Let's make it pretty bad here. Ah, that's better. That's much better. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, the cool thing about GitButler, if you used GitButler before, is we have these independent branches, these virtual branches. So I don't have to put this in a dependent branch here. This is an independent change. It has no lock icon here. I can just go ahead and drag it into a new lane. I can commit this here. I can say this is background color sort of change. And I can create a pull request based off of this. So now this is interesting because I have three different features, right? I have a thing where I introduce something. I have a dependency, a dependent branch where I modified that one, waiting for it to be reviewed and integrated. And then I have a completely independent branch. So in this case, for me to merge update stacking copy, I need to merge add stack feature first, right? Because it modifies that. But background color, I can merge at any time, right? It's a completely independent feature. And so that's interesting. If I go to GitHub and I look at these, I have this one that updates the background color that is its own pull request. I can merge this before or after the other ones. But with the other pull requests, it's part of a stack. And so if you go into the description, you can actually see where in the stack this is, right? So we have added the stacking feature as the first thing, and then update the stacking copy as a dependency off of that. So if I go in and I say, look at this adding the stacking feature, I can merge this. This is dependent on main. You can see here. The second one is actually targeting the original one that I did, so that when I look at the diff, it's only the changes that I introduced since then. But these are meant to be merged in order. So the way that you want to merge these is say, I'm going to go to the one that added the feature in the first place. I'll go ahead and merge that. So now if I go to the second PR, you can see that it changed its target to main, right? So the difference is the same. Now this is actually what is upstream from main. And so now I'm free to merge this one as well. So I can go in and I can merge this. And now both the feature that I introduced and then the change to the feature have been merged in order. And I can go into GitButler and I can see, okay, both of these have been merged. And now I can sort of update and I can take out that integrated work. And now I'm left with the independent work that I had done. But I could have merged them in either order. I could have merged the background one first and then the dependency, and then or I could have merged them all at once. But this really gives you a lot of power about the work that you're doing, the feature that you're working on, the bug fix that you're working on. Is this independent? Are these dependent changes that need to be merged in a specific order? Can I wait for something to be integrated and continue working and deciding kind of how I want to split my work up into its dependencies? So this really helps with doing a lot of different types of workflows. Is your work dependent? Is it independent? This is in the newest release of GitButler, so go ahead and download it and enjoy stacking your branches.